Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 17. The Divisions of Faith. Text 1. Arjuna Uvacha. Sorry, Prabhu. Shall I continue?
Yeah, I think someone was not muted. It should be all right. You please carry on.
Okay, sorry. Arjuna Uvacha. Ye Shastra Vidhi Mutsrucha Yajante Shaddayanvitaha Tesham Nishtha Tu Kakrishta Sattva Maho Rajastamaha.
Arjuna inquired, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scripture but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tanshunu.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: in kindness, in passion, or in ignorance. Now hear about this.
Sattvanurupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata Shraddha Mayoyam Purusho Yo Yachatraha Sa Eva Saha.
O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired.
Yajante Satvika Devan Yaksharakshansi Rajasaha Pretan Bhuta Gananshanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha.
Man in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits.
Ashastra Vihitam Ghoram Tapyante Ye Tapojanaha Rambha Ahankar Sanyuktaha Kamaraga Balanvitaha Karshayantaha Sharirastham Bhutagramam Avchetasaha Mam Chaivantaha Sharirastham Tanvidya Suranishchayan.
Those who undergo severe austerities and penances, not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of the body, as well as the supersoul dwelling within, are to be known as demons.
Aharastvapi sarvasya vivido bhavati priyaha yajnastapastatha danam tesham vedamimam shruno.
Even the food each person prefers is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerities, and charity. Now hear of the distinction between them.
Ayu sattva balarokya sukha priti vivardhanaha tasyaha snigdhaha sthirarudhya aharaha satvika priyaha.
Foods dear to those in mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart.
Katva amla lavanti pushna tikshna ruksha vidahinaha ahara rajasasyeshta dukkha shokam pradaha.
Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease.
Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam api chametyam bhojanam tamasapiyam.
Foods prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, foods that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable thing is dear to those in the mode of darkness.
अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञो विधिदिष्टो य इज्यते यष्टव्यम् एवेति मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः.
Of sacrifices, the sacrifice performed according to the direction of Scripture as a matter of duty by those who desire no reward is of the nature of goodness.
अभिसन्धाय तु फलं दम्भार्थम् अपि चैव यत् इज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठं तं यज्ञं विद्धि राजसम्.
But the sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride, O chief of Bharatas, you should know to be in the mode of passion.
विधिहीनं सृष्टान्नं मन्त्रहीनं दक्षिणं श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते.
Any sacrifice performed without regard for the directions of Scripture, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of Vedic hymns and remunerations to the priests, and without faith is considered to be in the mode of ignorance.
देवद्विजगुरु प्राज्ञ पूजनं शौचमार्जवं ब्रह्मचर्यम् अहिंसा च शारीरं तप उच्यते.
Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence.
अनुद्वेगकरं वाक्यं सत्यं प्रियहितं च यत् स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनं चैव वाङ्मयं तप उच्यते.
Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature.
मनः प्रसादः सौम्यत्वं मौनमात्मविनिग्रहः भावसंशुद्धिरित्यप्तिते तपो मानसमुच्यते.
And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind.
श्रद्धया परया तप्तं तपस्तत्त्रिविधं नरैः अफलांक्षिभिर्युक्तेः सात्विकं परिचक्षते.
The threefold austerity performed with transcendental faith by man, not expecting material benefits or engaged only for the sake of the Supreme, is called austerity in goodness.
सत्कारमानपूजार्थं तपोदम्भेन चैव यत् क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तं राजसं चलमध्रुवम्.
Penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship is said to be in the mode of passion. It is neither stable nor permanent.
मूढग्राहेणात्मनो यत्पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्साहजातं वा तत्तामसमुदायुक्तम्.
Penance performed out of foolishness, with self-torture, or to destroy or injure others is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
दातव्यम् इति यद्दानं दीयते नुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्.
Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at the proper time and place, and to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness.
यत्तु प्रति उपकारार्थं फलम् उद्दिश्य वा पुनः दीयते च परिक्लिष्टं तद्दानं राजसंस्मृतम्.
But charity performed with the expectation of some return, or with a desire for fruitful results, or in a grudging mood, is said to be charity in the mode of passion.
अदेशकाले यत्तानम् अपात्रेभ्यश्च दीयते असत्कृतम् अवज्ञातं तत्तामसं दुरातरम्.
And charity performed at an impure place, at an improper time, to unworthy persons, or without proper attention and respect, is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
ॐ तत्सत् इति निर्देशो ब्रह्मणस्त्रिविधः स्मृतः ब्राह्मणास्तेन वेदाश्च यज्ञाश्च विहिताः पुरा.
From the beginning of creation, the three words Om, Tat, Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme.
तस्मादोम् इति उदाहृत्य यज्ञदानतपः क्रियाः प्रवर्तन्ते वेदानोक्ताः सततं ब्रह्मवादिनाम्.
Therefore, the transcendentalists undertaking performance of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with the scriptural regulations begin always with Om to attain the Supreme.
तद् इति अनभिसन्धाय फलं यज्ञतपः क्रियाः दानक्रियाश्च विविधाः क्रियन्ते मोक्षकाङ्क्षिभिः.
Without desiring fruitful results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement.
सद्भावे साधुभावे च सदित्येत प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सच्शब्दः पार्थयुज्यते यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थितिः सदिति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तदर्थीयं सदित्येवा विधीयते.
The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person or Son of Pratha.
अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असद्ति उच्यते पार्थन च तत्प्रियनो इह.
Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme or Son of Pratha is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Apologies if I have not pronounced it correctly. Thank you.
You did very well, Shobhana Mataji. Well done. Your pronunciation is wonderful, and thank you, Shobhana Mataji. Your English
Thank you,
recitation was clear and powerful.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So let us see who we have joining us today. All the wonderful regular devotees. Divya Gaurangi Mataji, nice you could join us today. Bharat Prabhu, Dev Kishan, I don't know the names, just Hare Krishna, Emma Mataji, Jai Shri Mataji, Jolly Mataji, Jyoti Mataji, Kalpana Mataji, Trishangi Mataji, Meena Mataji, Nila Mataji, probably Puja Mataji, Padma Malini Mataji, Pinky Mataji, Premila Mataji, Rasalila Mataji, Rupa Mataji, Sailesh Prabhu, Saroj Mataji, Seema Mataji, Shobhana Mataji, Shobhada Mataji, Steffi, Hare Krishna, Humi Mataji, Varsha Mataji, Kanta, Mitali, Santosh, Shabani, Sipra Mataji, Tapasi Mataji, Yashwini. Happy Nityananda Triyodasi to all of you.
Happy. And Prabhu, Urmila Ben.
Urmila Ben
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna is Urmila Ben.
How can I miss you, Mataji? I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I trust you all have had a wonderful day observing the festival of Lord Nityananda's appearance. So what have most of you been doing today? Anyone would like to share? Cooking? Nice preparations for Lord Nityananda. How many of you all cooked nice preparations for Lord Nityananda today?
We all did some effort.
Oh, that's wonderful. And lots of hearing, I think, while you were cooking the whole day. Well, that's what I was doing today. That's why I didn't have much time to prepare. So it's wonderful. You know, this process of hearing is so powerful. You know, it's by, you know, the whole process of Krishna consciousness is both based on Shravanam. Through the process of hearing, the purification comes, and then the attachment and the relationship, the sambandha also appears. So I had some experience of that today, and I'm sure many of you all have had the same. So to be honest with you, I've not had much time to prepare. I was like so busy with service today, but I pulled some slides together, and also, you know, the pastimes and glories of Lord Nityananda are unlimited. And, you know, how much can we describe in half an hour? So I was thinking to myself, let us just focus on a few points today. Firstly, who is Lord Nityananda? And the tattva of Lord Nityananda. The truth. Tattva means truth. Actually, when we understand who Lord Nityananda is, that is the springboard for a deeper relationship with Lord Nityananda. Because when we really understand who Lord Nityananda is, and we understand his activities, our gratitude for Lord Nityananda will increase exponentially. As I often quote His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, who says, gratitude is the condition of the heart in which bhakti grows. So when we feel this gratitude, which develops into love for Lord Nityananda, then our bhakti will grow. Then I will talk about what is the mood and mission of Lord Nityananda. Why is the mercy of Lord Nityananda essential? How to receive the mercy, sorry, I wrote it double there, the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And in connection with that, we want to launch this year's Gaur Purnima Marathon. And we'll conclude today's session with Emma Mataji singing a beautiful bhajan about Lord Nityananda. So let us go through this. So in terms of who is Lord Nityananda, I wanted to refer to some verses from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let me do that, bring up those verses, and then we can read some of them because they're beautiful verses. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Okay. Before we do that, let's say the Mangala Charanam prayers together. You can do so behind muted mics. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashari Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deshatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we'll start off by reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 5, chapter entitled The Glories of Lord Nityananda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So, Dev Kishan Prabhu, forgive me for putting you on the spot.
Hare Krishna, it's fine, don't worry. It's fine.
If someone else could ask you, who is Lord Nityananda? How would you respond?
I mean, to be fair, I think I tried doing a fair amount of research before I went to the morning arti or darshan.
Okay.
And if I'm not wrong, he is the second. He's like the protector of Krishna. So if one would want spiritual progress, then they would need the blessings of Lord Balarama. And he's very protective over Krishna. And I read through a few pastimes, but I actually can't remember them from the top of my head. And he's the second. Is it right for me to say he's the second incarnation of Krishna?
You can say expansion. Normally the word expansion is better because they are practically identical. That's so nice. Thank you. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Explanation. Sipra Mataji, you come from a Bengali background. So
Yeah.
if someone asks you, who is Lord Nityananda? How would you respond?
Nityananda is actually, I think, elder brother of Sri Lord Chaitanya. In a way, I mean, not his own brother, but when Vishwarup, his elder brother, took sannyasa, and there is sayings that he entered Nityananda's body, and that's I mean, that is also another expansion of Lord Chaitanya.
Okay.
And he's like Krishna and Balaram, and he's same as in this incarnation. He's equivalent to Balaram, and Lord Chaitanya is Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. That's wonderful. Let's read what Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in this chapter. So I won't read the Bengali because of time constraints. I will focus just on the English. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. So two very important points here. The first point being made that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami will elaborate a bit more. That's the first point. And secondly, he has unlimited and wonderful opulences. And now this is the interesting part. The identity of Lord Nityananda is not easily understood. Even a great scholar, sometimes there are many big scholars in the world who have read Chaitanya Charitamrita, but there are many who have not come to the point of accepting the Lord Nityananda is the Supreme Personality of God. But even a fool, if he receives the mercy of Lord Nityananda, even a fool can understand his transcendental identity. So text number 2. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have described the glory of Sri Krishna Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now, in 5 verses, I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Lord Balaram is his second body. So how interesting is that phrase? Lord Balaram is his second body. And Krishna is referred to here as Avatari because he is the source of all incarnations. And Lord Balaram is his second body. It is said that Lord Balaram, there's no difference between Lord Balaram and Krishna. They are identical in all respects, except 2. Anyone know?
The color,
The only 2 differences between them.
their color, Prabhuji.
One is color, yes. Balaram is whitish and
White and Krishna is black.
blackish blue. And what is the second one?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you used to say that, sorry.
Yes, Rupa Mataji, go on.
I remember you used to say that if you ask Balaram, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you ask him, who are you, then I am, like he will always serve Krishna. He will not say I'm the Supreme Person. That's what I remember from your lectures.
You have a good memory, Rupa Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
That is so right. So essentially what you're saying, the second difference is the mood. Yeah. Krishna is in the mood that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's in the mood of accepting service, the loving service of all of his devotees. And he's in the mood of enjoying that type of rasa. Balaram, although he is identical to Krishna in all respects and all potencies, his mood is one of servant of Krishna. He is the servant of Krishna. So that is the same mood, the difference in the mood between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. These 2 are one and the same identity. They differ only in form. Lord Balaram is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists Krishna in Krishna's transcendental pastimes. So the words here is Krishna, Leelara, Sahaya. Sahaya means assistance. So In the same way that Lord Balaram is in the mood of assisting Krishna, Lord Nityananda is in the mood of serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 6. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Lord Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. May Sri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankashan, Seshanag, and the Vishnus who lie on the Karana ocean, Gaba ocean, and ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. This is sometimes called the pranam mantra for Lord Nityananda. The stalwart devotees of Lord Nityananda, they sometimes chant this mantra as the pranam mantra of Lord Nityananda. So essentially what we see here is from Lord Nityananda comes Mahasankashan. From Mahasankashan comes the quadruple expansions of the first expansion. And then from there comes all of the other expansions, and finally the Purusha avatars, Lord Mahavishnu, and so on. So Lord Nityananda, he is the fountain. Actually, everything rests upon Lord Nityananda or Lord Balaram. But what is the most amazing aspect of this Lord Balaram or Lord Nityananda? Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he goes door to door, person to person, and he begs them, please chant the name of Krishna. Please become the servant of Lord Gauranga. And if someone refuses to do that, he takes a straw in his mouth. He falls down flat like a straw and he begs the people, please chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Please become a servant of Lord Gauranga. Now this is quite extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can take on such a role. But this is the extreme mercy of Lord Nityananda. This is the extent that he will go to engage people in the service of his Lord Gauranga and Lord Krishna. So this is the position of Lord Nityananda. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but in a mood of extreme mercy. Extreme mercy. I often tell these the stories of how merciful Lord Nityananda is. Once in Mumbai, one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, he had left the association of Srila Prabhupada and his devotees. He had gone on the beach, joined some hippies, and he was smoking ganja. So news came to Srila Prabhupada that one of his disciples was doing this, smoking ganja on the beach. So Prabhupada told Tamal Krishna, you go and tell him that if he doesn't stop smoking ganja, I will reject him. So Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he went to this disciple and told Prabhupada, said, if you don't stop smoking ganja, I will reject you. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj came back to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada said, did you tell him? Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, yes. Then Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, so Srila Prabhupada, will you actually reject him if he doesn't stop? And Srila Prabhupada said, no. I can't reject anyone who comes at my shelter. And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, but Srila Prabhupada, surely there must be a limit. Surely there must be a limit beyond which someone crosses that they have to be rejected. And Srila Prabhupada just looked down and he said, there is no limit to the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And it is said that even if one is the greatest offender, the greatest sinful person, if he takes shelter of Lord Nityananda, then he will attain all the mercy of Lord Krishna. So this is the amazing and wonderful mercy of Lord Nityananda. So I just thought we'll touch on that point. So what is the mood of Lord Nityananda? This is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, same chapter, Adi Lila chapter 5, in verse 135. Kabu Guru Kabu Shaka Kabu Bricha Lila Purvayena Tina Bhave Vrajakaila Kela. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant. Just as Lord Balaram played with Lord Krishna in 3 different moods in Vraja. So Lord Nityananda is in this mood of complete service. And he will serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just like a disciple serves a guru. With his life and soul, he takes the instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his life and soul. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please go from town to town, village to village, and preach this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and tell people to become devotees of Lord Krishna. So that was the complete mood of Lord Nityananda. Sometimes he would play with, he would serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as friend, and sometimes as his servant. And predominantly the mood of Lord Nityananda is of giving mercy. So someone may ask, what is the need to surrender to Lord Nityananda? Actually, most of us, I would say, I came to Krishna consciousness when I was about 19 years old. I never in my life before heard about Lord Nityananda. And there are many people who are devotees of Lord Krishna, who are Vaishnavas, but they have not heard of Lord Nityananda. So someone may say, what is the need to surrender to Lord Nityananda? Srila Narottam Das Thakur, in his beautiful song, Nitai Pada Kamala, he writes 2 very beautiful stanzas in the song. And I'll read the English. He says, anyone who has not established his relationship with Lord Nityananda Prabhu is understood to have spoiled his valuable human life. Se sambandha nahi ja. Sambandha means relationship. So we all have to establish our relationship with Lord Nityananda. Otherwise, this human form of life is just considered to be a waste. So what type of relationship should that be? That relationship should be that Lord Nityananda's mercy is our life and soul. Without the mercy of Lord Nityananda, my life is completely wasted. And Srila Narottam Das Thakur writes, such a human being is actually an uncontrollable animal. He uses the word here, say pashu bora Durachar. Because he never uttered the holy name of Lord Nityananda, he has become merged into so-called material happiness. What can his useless education and family tradition do to help him? Anyone who has not contacted Lord Nityananda, according to the authority of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, those people have simply wasted their lives. So therefore, it is our duty to make sure that we develop a very firm relationship with Lord Nityananda. And not only that, we broadcast the glories of Lord Nityananda far and wide. So other people can hear, they can repeat the name of Lord Nityananda. And thus, their life can be successful. And then he goes on to say, being maddened after false prestige and identification with the body, one is thinking, no, what is Nityananda? What can he do for me? I don't care. The result is that he's accepting something false to be truth. If you actually want to approach the association of Radha and Krishna, you must first achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda. When he is merciful to you, then you will be able to approach Radha and Krishna. Therefore, you should firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Once one disciple came to Srila Prabhupada and asked Srila Prabhupada, how do I get the mercy of Lord Krishna? And Prabhupada said, if you want the mercy of Lord Krishna, you have to get the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And if you want the mercy of Srimati Radharani, you have to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. And if you want the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, you have to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And if you want the mercy of Lord Nityananda, what should you do?
Take a shelter of spiritual master.
Go to Jagai. I have heard that go to Jagai and Madhai type of people and preach to them, something like that. I can remember.
Yes. Srila Prabhupada said, if you want the mercy of Lord Nityananda, go out and approach the Jagais and Madhais of this world and tell them about Lord Krishna. So this is the process, dear devotees, for spiritual perfection. That we have to firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. And that we do through different ways. But one, Palika Mataji said very nicely, the representative of Lord Nityananda is the spiritual master. Surrender to the spiritual master with one's life and soul. That is the way to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And what is the instruction of the spiritual master? The instruction of the spiritual master and our preeminent spiritual master, our Param Guru, the Shiksha Guru for all devotees, is Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada said, please go and give people this Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport to, in the verse 204 of this chapter, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who is famous for his poetic composition known as Pratana, has lamented in one of his prayers, when will Lord Nityananda be merciful upon me so that I will forget all material desires? Srila Narottam Das Thakur confirms that unless one is freed from material desires to satisfy the needs of the body and senses, one cannot understand the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan. He also confirmed that one cannot understand the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna without going through the direction of the 6 Goswamis. In another verse, Narottam Das Thakur has stated that without the causeless mercy of Lord Nityananda, one cannot enter into the affairs of Radha and Krishna. Once one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the goal of spiritual life? And Srila Prabhupada said, the goal of spiritual life is to enter into the affairs of Radha and Krishna. But there is no chance of one doing that as long as one got any material desires, even the tiniest tinge. And Srila Narottam Das Thakur says that by surrendering onto the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, Lord Nityananda's power is so great that he can destroy all material desires of the living entity. So this is the great gift of Lord Nityananda. He has made the holy name available to everyone. One has to just pay one price, and that is faith. Irrespective of birth, caste, wealth, physical ability, or beauty, if one has a drop of faith, if Lord Nityananda even sees one tear coming from one's eye, he accepts that person. And he says, what is the evidence of the mercy of Lord Nityananda? Brajendra Nanda Jai, Sachi Sutta Hoila Se, Balaram Hoila Nitai, Dina Hina Jakachila, Harinama Udarila, Tara Shakshi Jagamadai. What is the evidence of the mercy of Lord Nityananda? Tara Shakshi. The evidence is Jaga and Madai. If we were to do an analysis during the time of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, that who were the two most sinful persons in the whole world? Two persons who had committed every sin that one can possibly commit. Who would those two persons be? They would be Jagai and Madai. And Lord Nityananda, through his mercy, he delivered Jagai and Madai. So this is our hope. Through the mercy of Lord Nityananda, we can be delivered despite all our shortcomings and discrepancies. So I'll briefly say a few words about Lord Nityananda's appearance. Lord Nityananda appeared in the year 1473 in West Bengal, in a beautiful village called Ekachakra. And his father was Adai Oja, and his mother was Padmavati. They were both very pious Brahmanas who came originally from Mithila. And Lord Nityananda, he appeared on the auspicious 13th day, Triyodasi, of the bright fortnight, Shukla Pasha of the month of Magha. And as a child, he was known as Nitai. And he was, it is said that the people in his village, they loved him more than they loved their own lives, their own selves. Now that is very rare, because most people in the world, they love themselves more than they love anyone else. But Nitai, he was loved so much by his parents and the people of his village. And because of time limitations, I won't describe it much. You can hear about the pastimes of Lord Nityananda, especially his childhood pastimes in Chaitanya Bhagavat. I will share the audio link of Chaitanya Bhagavat on our forum later. And then you can hear about the beautiful, sweet pastimes of Lord Nityananda. And this is a place you can actually go to. How many of you have been to Ekachakra?
I've been to.
You've been to. Oh, wonderful.
I've been as well.
You've been also?
Yeah,
I
I've
have been
two
as well.
times.
So fortunate you are. So
I have been as well. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Today, Mayapur did an online virtual parikrama of Eka Chakra, Prabhuji. Very nicely done.
Oh, really? I wonder if it's
So
recorded.
beautiful.
The bodies can see too.
Yeah.
So there's a beautiful place. Yeah,
Beautiful place.
This is a bit, and now actually ISKCON, under the auspices of His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami, they built a temple there with guest house facilities. It's quite far from Mayapur. I think it's about 4 to 5 hours drive, taxi ride from Mayapur. But this is where Lord Nityananda appeared, and it's a place we can go to. As we were explaining, Lord Nityananda is the original Guru. There's one nice extract here from Srila Prabhupada. So far as your questions are concerned, Nityananda is the principle of Guru. So the Gurudev is the incarnation of Nityananda. Anyone who strictly follows the incarnation of the Guru is also following Nityananda. The price one has to pay if he wants to become Krishna conscious is that he must dedicate himself to following the order of his spiritual master, Mahat Seva. If the spiritual master is pleased with the disciple, then the blessings of the Guru will be there. That is the best way to become Krishna conscious. And Krishna is none different from Nityananda. You may pray to Lord Nityananda to help you become dedicated in the service of your Guru. Krishna consciousness cannot be achieved artificially. You should approach Nityananda through your spiritual master. This is a letter Srila Prabhupada wrote on October 2nd, 1976. So I just want to conclude class before we request Emma Mataji to sing a beautiful bhajan, is that today we are launching our Gaur Purnima Marathon. The mood of Lord Nityananda is to glorify his Lord Chaitanya. And there is no other book that glorifies Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu better than Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada dedicated his life to translating this book from the Bengali into English language. And this year, we even have something better. We have copies of Chaitanya Charitamrita in Bengali, in Hindi, in Tamil, in Telugu, and Gujarati. So we have even better incentive this year. So we will shortly be announcing different ways in which all the devotees can become involved. This marathon will start today and it will run all the way to Gaur Purnima, which is on the 28th of March. So from today to the 28th of March, we are going to focus on receiving the mercy of Lord Nityananda by distributing sets of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm sure a number of you all have Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And you can see how beautiful this book, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's so unique in the way it's been presented. And we have some beautiful reviews from some eminent scholars on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And during this Gaur Purnima festival period, we are offering the audio download of Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, and a free copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita Compact in a soft version that's been authored by Sutapa Prabhu. So we are requesting all of the devotees to at least mentally pledge for the pleasure of Lord Nityananda today to become involved, just to try. Even if you do not do it, just to try will be pleasing to Lord Nityananda. To try to distribute the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which automatically contain the glories of Lord Nityananda. And if anyone wants more details of how you can get stock or how you can get these different languages, any of you all who come from the Bengali culture community, we request you please to maybe this festival to reach out. And my wife, Vrinda Devi, at the moment, she's studying Bengali. And a Bengali teacher told her recently, and she was sharing with me, that the scholars in the study of Bengali, when they want to learn the highest level of Bengali, their reference is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written Chaitanya Charitamrita in such a beautiful, beautiful language. He is known as Kaviraj. Raj means king, Kavi means poet. He's the king of poets. And he's written this beautiful Chaitanya Charitamrita. So please, if you'd like to participate in this marathon, please just drop us a note, and we'll be announcing different ways of how you can become involved. So I'll end with that particular note, and I will now hand back to Emma Mataji to sing the bhajan. Let me see if I can bring it up, Emma Mataji, then everyone else can also follow. Be unmuted, Mataji.
Shall we read the translation first or afterwards?
I prefer to read it afterwards, but I leave it up to you. I leave it up to you.
We can read it afterwards. Someone can read that. Thank you.
Just give me a minute to share my screen,
Yes.
Mataji.
Thank you.
All right, I've got it up on the screen now.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Please accept my obeisances. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me a chance to sing this bhajan. Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. Patiyache naam hata jivera karam. Patiyache naam hata jivera karam. Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. Nadia Godrume Nityananda Mahajan. श्रद्धावान जान है, श्रद्धावान जान है, श्रद्धावान जान है, श्रद्धावान जान है. प्रभु रे आज्ञा भाई मागिए भिक्षा. प्रभु रे आज्ञा भाई मागिए भिक्षा. बोलो कृष्णा भजो कृष्णा करो कृष्ण शिक्षा. बोलो कृष्णा भजो कृष्णा करो कृष्ण शिक्षा. नादिया गोद्रुमे नित्यानंद महाजान. नादिया गोद्रुमे नित्यानंद महाजान. पातियाचे नाम हता जीवेरा कराना. पातियाचे नाम हता जीवेरा कराना. अपराधे सुनियो होए लो कृष्ण नाम. अपराधे, sorry, did I miss out number 2? Yeah. श्रद्धावान जान है, श्रद्धावान जान है, श्रद्धावान जान है, श्रद्धावान जान है. प्रभु रे आज्ञा भाई मागिए भिक्षा. प्रभु आज्ञा भाई मागिए भिक्षा. बोलो कृष्णा भजो कृष्णा करो कृष्ण शिक्षा. बोलो कृष्णा भजो कृष्णा करो कृष्ण शिक्षा. नादिया गोद्रुमे नित्यानंद महाजान. नादिया गोद्रुमे नित्यानंद महाजान. अपराधा सुनिया होए लोहो कृष्ण नाम अपराधा सुनिया है होए लोहो कृष्ण नाम कृष्ण माता कृष्ण प्रीता कृष्ण धन प्राण कृष्ण माता कृष्ण पिता कृष्ण धन प्राण नादिया गोत्रु में नित्यानंद महाजन नादिया गोत्रु में नित्यानंद महाजन पातियाचे नाम हता जीवेरा करणान पातियाचे नाम हता जीवेरा कराना कृष्ण संसारे कोरे चढ़िया नचार कृष्ण रे संसारे कोरो चढ़िया नचार जीवे दोया कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार जीवे दोया कृष्ण नाम सर्वधर्म सार नादिया गोत्रु में नित्यानंद महाजन नादिया गोत्रु में नित्यानंद महाजन पातियाचे नाम हता जीवेरा कराना पातियाचे नाम हता जीवेरा कराना बोलो कृष्ण भजो कृष्ण करो कृष्ण शिक्षा बोलो कृष्ण भजो कृष्ण करो कृष्ण शिक्षा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे जय राधा गोकुला नंद राधा गोकुला नंद राधा गोकुला नंद श्री राधे जय सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जय गौरानिताय 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 जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
Hi, wonderful, beautiful, Mataji.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Thank you, Ma Prabhuji.
Absolutely wonderful. So wonderful. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
very
Emma.
very
Thank
nice.
you.
Wow, that was so sweet. Thank you.
So sweet.
Anyone
Very
want to read
wonderful.
the
Wonderful
translation?
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
You'd like to read the translation for us too, Emma Mataji?
Oh, shall I? Okay, thank you. In the land of Nadia on the island of Godruma, sorry, I can't see the whole thing, sorry. In the island of Nadia in the land of Nadia on the island of Godruma, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of holy name, meant for the deliverance of all fallen souls. O people of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga, O brothers, I beg these three requests of you. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and teach others about Krishna. Sorry, I can't see it very well. Lost it again.
Do you want me to read?
Please, Prabhuji, sorry, I'm not good with reading that.
All right. In the land of Nadia, on the island of Godrum, the magnanimous Lord Nityananda has opened up the marketplace of the holy name, meant for the deliverance of all fallen souls. O people of faith, by the order of Lord Gauranga. O brothers, I beg these three requests of you. Chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and teach others about Krishna. Being careful to remain free of offenses, just take the holy name of Lord Krishna. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is the treasure of your life. Giving up all sinful activities, carry on your worldly duties only in relation to Lord Krishna. The showing of compassion to other souls by loudly chanting the holy name of Krishna is the essence of all forms of religion. Lord Nityananda Rama ki jai. Nityananda Triyodasi ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande.
Haribo.
So before we finish, if anyone would like to share any realizations they have about Lord Nityananda, please feel free to do so. Was something special today that you experienced about Lord Nityananda's mercy? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, very nicely presented the program and the programs today. Mataji also sang so beautifully and deeply. So thank you very much for that. So I was just taking a little walk up and down campus, and I noticed Nityananda's full moon is out there. So in case anybody wants to have full darshan of Lord Nityananda's moon, to request for special mercy that we can do.
It was a bit difficult to hear you. I just lost. Couldn't hear the last. Could you put your mic a bit closer to yourself?
Yeah, so I was just thinking we could request the full moon of Lord Nityananda is out there today because it's so.
Okay.
Yeah. In case we haven't had a chance to have the darshan, so we can pray as you were advising us. We should pray for Lord Nityananda's full moon to guide us and help us to become pure devotees of our spiritual masters.
Thank you.
Something like that, because you had the focus on Lord Nityananda's unlimited mercy, magnanimity. That sorry, I'm very slow because of ear problem, and you have to sit there with me. So he's most magnanimous in other times, more magnanimous than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know from the past time, obviously he is also magnanimous, but with Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, we can seek the blessings of our spiritual master, that we can continue on this devotional path as you are guiding us. Thank you very much, David.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was taking the dark and everything. It's there full moon before the moon is set for us.
Thank you, Prabhu. Koti Chandra, billions of moons. Yeah.
Koti Chandra, exactly.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for that. Anyone else would like to share any realizations about the mercy of Lord Nityananda?
Hare Krishna, Vrindavan, Chandra Prabhu.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. I mean, before I was going to bed last night, I prayed to Nityananda Prabhu so that I can serve him well during the Saina today on his appearance day. And he gave me the lot of opportunity. He helped me to chant a lot more than I do normally. He allowed me to serve him very nicely, offering in a very nice way, and watch the program also in the temple. Heard Bishashikaman. The whole day it was like a Nityananda Prabhu for me. So he's very, very merciful, and I experienced that today. So
that's wonderful.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm sure you're going to go to bed feeling ecstatic tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right then, dear devotees, thank you so much for your association. Thank you. It's been a pleasure celebrating Lord Nityananda's appearance in your association. Panchakalpa Turabhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patpunam Bhaivanyo Vaishnavibhyo Anatukoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Lord Nityananda jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om
Hey, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Bol.
everybody. Bye.
Hare Krishna,